empowering children through yoga and sophrology. I know you've all heard what yoga is, but I hear some of you ask, what is that sophrology? Sophrology is a combination of breathing exercise, gentle movement, and visualization. Dr. Casado brought it into the medical world in the 60s, so it's not a new trend, but it does align very well with those other well-being trends that are great and out there at the moment. It was Dr. Abrazon who took sophrology outside of the medical world and helped high-level skiers here in Switzerland compete and win gold. So I'd love to give you a full yoga experience. I'd love to take you on a sophroliminal level. That means between asleep and awake, as I like to understand it. Lovely meditation. And we use chairs, so it could be done here. And we stand up and sit down, so it's great for kids and great for adults that are not so into all the traditional meditation. So what I am going to do for you this evening, we're going to do it together, is a gentle breathing exercise. It's very easy. And then we're going to go on to make some small movements with our body, just like this, together. And the third exercise is going to be a visualization of a yellow flower. So I'll tell you when it's time to do an exercise. It's now. Can you all stand up with me? If you're not able to stand, please sit tall in your chair and join us that way. Okay, I'd like you to ground your feet. Put your fingertips out like this in front of you. Put them on your belly. Now I invite you to close your eyes if you feel comfortable doing so. If you don't, you can just look down at the floor. We've all got our eyes closed. No one can see you. Just notice your natural breath. Mine's going a bit faster than normal. Don't try to change anything. Now I want you to do a belly breath. So you breathe into your belly expands and your fingers come apart. Then your fingers come back together as you breathe out and the air leaves your belly. Just give that a couple of goes to get it right. Well done. Now we're all going to take 3 breaths together. Breathe in. Activate my capacity to have confidence in myself. Trust myself. I activate my capacity as I breathe in to harmonize my mind, body, and soul. As I breathe in, I activate my capacity to have a positive future full of well-being. Now I invite you to sit down in your chairs carefully and safely, feeling behind. If you've opened your eyes, I welcome you to close them back up again. Put your hands, your palms of your hands on your lap. Feel the warmth from your hands. And close your eyes if you've opened them, or just look down if you don't want to close them. This is called an integration pause. We're letting our body talk to us. Does it feel hot, cold, tingly? All sensations are welcome, without judgment. I'd like you to open your eyes when you're ready. What would a world be like if we all did that every day? What change would happen to your life if you made time to do something like that little and often and made it a habit? What change could we see in schools if that was normalised? If children didn't think that was weird and they did it every day at the start of every lesson? Breathing is our superpower. How? So, a slow, deep breath in comparison to, or when we're anxious, we even hold our breath, puts us in the sympathetic system. And the sympathetic system is the fight or flight. The fight or flight is great and it has its purpose, but often in this world we're in it too much. We have the superpower, the breath. We can turn to the breath, take a belly breath, and put ourselves in the parasympathetic nervous system very easily. It's free, It's easy to do. Children can learn it. And in my experience, they are amazing at it. We just need to normalise it. I see now that it's seen as a bit weird still. Probably not at this school, but in many other schools I go into. So what did we just do there? We did the breath. I've explained the breath. We also told ourselves some affirmations, as many people know. We talked to ourselves in our head, and we told ourselves we're confident. We told ourselves many different things. But we could tell ourselves we're at peace, even though we know strictly maybe it's not true. But our mind and body believes this, and therefore we reap the benefits. And if everyone in the world said they're at peace, then wouldn't it be great? Children need the chance to be empowered. They need the chance to feel their bodies and decide what's right for them, using the breath, taking time to go into their minds, being curious, naming emotions, knowing it's normal, taking time for themselves to find the right well-being technique for them. Sophrology and yoga, sophrology has many techniques, there are many out there. We can help share those with children and let them explore what works for them. Adolescents, we know adolescents face exam stress, social media pressures, life-changing experiences, just like we do. But it's a really tough time out there for them at the moment. And I imagine the future as adolescents knowing and understanding how to use these techniques, little and often as a habit, and normalised in the future. I imagine they will then be able to apply them when they really need them. Because it's really hard to learn a technique when you're in a bad space. But if they do it regularly as a habit, they might not be in that bad space. Or they know how to do it, so they can just go and use it naturally. So I think it's really, really amazing to give them the opportunity. How many people in the audience have educational scars? When I say educational scars, I mean perhaps you got 98% in a test and you went home and your parents expected 100. Your pride shifted to shame. Perhaps adults in the room, you had a neurodiversity, a different energy level, eyesight difficulties, a movement difference, for example, left-handedness, and it wasn't adequately dealt with. So we know that this exists. What can we do? We can empower children to heal as they go. They can actually perform in very difficult systems. They don't need a perfect system. They just need to be able to adapt and grow and learn and heal as they go. And this can happen by taking time in integration position, integration thoughts, the breath, and many different sophrology and yoga techniques to help them. So we don't need to be perfect parents, perfect teachers, perfect coaches. We can just provide a nurturing environment for children to thrive. Now I'm going to ask you to stand up again with me, because you know sitting down for too long is not great. Thank you. This time we're going to do some different body movements. I'd like to get a time in your mind when you're really frustrated. Children, I'm sure it would be with your parents or your siblings, or maybe even your teachers. It's okay, think of that frustrated moment. Teachers, parents, it's fine, it can be when the children frustrated you as well. Have you got that in your mind? And close your eyes again if it helps. Try to feel in your body the emotion. What does it feel like in your body? You can think about temperatures. Hold it in your body. Now I want you to look up. I dare you to smile at the ceiling. Roll your shoulders back. Do a belly breath. Get it out. Who can still feel the same level as frustration? Now let's do the opposite. I want you to get a really happy thought in your mind. Something that happened today, something wonderful in school, in this amazing school. Let's get something in there. Okay, you've got it. Get the feeling in your body. Now I want you to turn your lips down. Yeah. Roll your shoulders over and hunch over and curl up and look down. Okay, then come back to neutral. Have a think, be curious about what move worked for you. Was it looking up? Was it rolling your shoulders? Was it smiling? Try to find what move made you feel happy. And you can use more of that when you need it. Maybe it's a difficult meeting, or you know you're going to go somewhere and you need that extra bit of confidence. And it's totally okay to curl up like you're in the womb as well when you need to. We don't all have to be confident all the time. Just try to work with that. So this feels so great. We do this in yoga a lot. It's called a heart opener, and it just feels really lovely as well. So you just did do a yoga exercise. So the next exercise, you can sit back down. I really want to thank you for your participation. You did an excellent job with your energy. Thank you. So the next exercise, if you feel comfortable doing so, close your eyes again. You're going to imagine a yellow flower. Okay. So that yellow flower has a tone, has a colour, has a smell. Can you smell it? Can you touch it? Can you hear it? What else do you notice? Do you notice how much space it takes up? See it in high definition. Go with all your senses. Okay, you can open your eyes. When you leave this TEDx talk, you can thank what I like to call as your RAS, which is your reticular activating system. It's a network of neurons in your brainstem. Why am I telling you the science? I know kids love science. My kids have loved science since the age of 4 or even younger. And I think sometimes we don't do enough science of the brain and well-being, and there's a wealth of information out there. It's there and it's available, and kids love learning it. So that's definitely part of the future as well. So your reticular activating system filters out information. It acts as a filter. And do you know who programs your RAS, your superpower RAS? You do. Like how you've just done, there's many ways of doing it, but you just did it with a visualization. So our senses can't take in that much information, so we have to focus on, it has to have a focus. So we can pay attention to what we focus it on, which I think is really, really great for children to learn and do. Now, I'm going to mention something about visualization. Olympic athletes, top athletes have been using visualizations for decades. It's in many different well-being techniques, but in sophrology, we use it a lot. And we use it for the unknown. Children often have to face the unknown. And this can be sometimes scary. The future is unknown, wouldn't you say? That's not always easy for everyone, the blank sheet. So if we use visualization when there's an event, to see it in our mind like you did with the flower, with all your senses, your body and mind again believes it's real. So you've done it. So when children go off, or us adults go off to do it, we've already experienced it. It's just one example. We need to have an inclusive sense of well-being. It needs to be integrated, normalized in the physical and the mental sense. We can't only help children when they have a perceived problem or pathology. If we do that, we stigmatize practices like sophrology and yoga. And it's not easy to learn when there's a perceived problem or pathology. We need to normalize it. We need to do it little and often in the school environment. Why the school environment? I don't know if you've ever tried to do well-being with your kids at home. I have. It's my job. It's my profession. I can teach the same yoga pose, and my daughter comes home and her school teachers taught her it, and it's the most amazing yoga pose. When I do it, what is that, Mum? Stop it. So that's why I'm passionate about it being integrated in schools. Children love to learn it from their teachers, in my experience. And it's really easy to do and learn. There's no expensive equipment. It can make profound differences. and it's available to everyone. I'd just like to mention the best way children learn, one of the best ways I think children learn, is through modelling. Yes, so that means we need to look after ourselves and take care of our own well-being, and then they see that too. If we take care of our well-being, if we model it, again, we don't have to be perfect, I know I'm not, we can create a centred, healthy, happy society. And for me, that's how I want to see the future of well-being, empowering children to decide for themselves, because we know they're really smart. Thank you for listening.